We've travelled around England talking to children and young people whose rights are not always met and whose voices are not always heard.
And we're taking our findings to the UN Committee on the Rights of the Child to tell them what needs to change here in England.
Our project has been led by a steering group of 22 children.
And overall, nearly 1,000 children have told us their views in person and through an online survey about all aspects of their lives.
We want to show where children's rights are not being met.
The issues we want the UN to consider are
children living in poor quality and cramped housing,
children living in poverty, children who are excluded from school,
the rights of disabled children and young people,
the treatment of refugee and asylum-seeking children,
children in care not having their rights met,
discrimination based on race and religion,
children and young people who are bullied just because of who they are,
children not knowing enough about their rights,
children's contact with the police or justice system,
discrimination against LGBT children and young people,
discrimination against gypsy and traveller children,
children living in B&B accommodation or who are homeless,
being treated unfairly just because you're a child.
All our evidence goes into a report which we present to the UN Committee on the Rights of the Child in Geneva this year.
We hope the committee will include our suggestions in the recommendations they set for the UK government to follow to make sure the rights of all children in England are being met.
I'd really like to see changes like these.
more accessible play spaces for disabled children,
better relationships between children and police,
less changeover of social workers,
more time to resolve issues in care placements before children are moved,
stop using B&B accommodation for children and families,
more teaching about rights in schools,
better protection for children against sexual exploitation,
safer places to play for all young people.
After we've delivered our report, we'll meet with key decision makers in England to talk about where children's rights aren't being respected and what we think needs to change.
We want other children and young people to work with us and take action on children's rights.
I think it's important to speak to the UN because it's just skipping the middleman and going straight to them.
I don't think it's very often that young people get to actually get their point across directly.
I think it's important because children have different perspective on everything.
And perspective is very important.
And also we are the voice of the future, so I think that's why it's really important.
Because we didn't know our rights and they took advantage of us.
The UN needs to hear from children.